The Tom London Show is brought to you by Suzuki Kyalami, the home of happy customers.
The Tom London Show.
It's a brand new studio. I told you. Yeah, I feel good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we've gone back to horizontal. I hope you like the move. We got the new wall. And soon we'll have the other wall, and then we'll have guests live in the studio in front of me. But hello from Tom. It's good to be with you. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday afternoon. It is sweltering in Johannesburg today. It is, soos hulle in Versandkraal sê, dis vreeslik warm vandag. Ish, it's hot in Johannesburg, South Africa. I hope wherever you're joining me from, you're having a fine afternoon. And wherever you find yourself, I hope you're in good condition. We're going to talk about what happened at Capitec yesterday. The Capitec Stanger branch, St. Anger. Capitec Stanger had one hell of a story that took place. So we'll be talking about that. And I've got some other news items for you. The late Robert Mugabe's son has just got himself into big trouble. The story just broke. I'll tell you about that. And we found the last drop of water in Johannesburg, and Charlotte Maxeke Hospital has got a brand new ward thanks to the First Rand Foundation. All of that in the show today. I'll be looking for your comments as they pop up in the comment section on Facebook. That's the dysfunctional team that sits in the Facebook feed. And then we got people joining us on YouTube. If you're joining us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to the Tom London Show. Thanks for tuning in. It's good to have you with me. We'll get to comments in just a little while. I want to tell you a story. We'll get to the Capitec story in just a little while too. But I want to tell you a story. 2 nights ago, a viewer who watches the show messaged me and said, do you remember Cafe Mio from Bedford Center? Now I do. 23 years ago, when I was in the radio and then restaurant business, I would, in the mornings, stop off at a place called Cafe Mio at Bedford Center, which was run by a lady called Natasha Azevedo and owned by a lady called Joy. And it was a lot like Cheers without the alcohol. We'd push the tables together, and then a whole bunch of people would all gather around the table, and every day we met each other, and we all became friends. And I haven't seen those people for 23 years. And certainly not since I moved to Stellenbosch, I haven't seen them. And I got a message from one of the people who used to sit around the table and was chatting to this old friend of mine, and chatting for like 2 hours. And my battery started going flat on my phone. And I thought, okay, well, the charger's in the lounge. So let me go to the lounge and sit there and chat. And I'll charge the phone at the same time. But I didn't want to put the lights on because the birds will wake up. I thought, that's okay. I'll sit in the dark. I'm only chatting. And the next thing I saw, the gate open. Well, that's weird. Oh, that's Craig calling. He doesn't know I'm on air. Craig Blicknode, friend of mine, is busy calling. But anyway, so yeah, I see the gate open and I see lights, but I don't see a car driving. I'm like, what is going on here? And it's 11:30 at night. Everyone's asleep. It's dark. I'm like, something's going on. You know, in South Africa, you go into that mode immediately. And so I'm like creeping around in the dark, looking out of the windows, and I see a guy in the garden with a torch, and he's shining the torch into the bushes, and he's walking around. Now, I don't know, is he a burglar? Is he a security guard? I couldn't see. It was dark. I couldn't see a uniform. I started getting really nervous, I got to tell you. So I thought, let me just stand still in the kitchen. And then the next thing, because it was pitch black, the next thing, the torch, like a spotlight, came through the kitchen window. And I was on the floor in a heartbeat. Hey. I was like, on the floor, and then creeping against the wall, and calling Barry and calling Nathan. Hey, what's going on in the garden? Well, it turned out someone thought they'd heard a noise, and they pressed a button or called the security company. It was a security guard. For about 2 minutes of my life, I stood there going, what do you do? I mean, I'm quite safe inside, but who is this person? So the security guard gave me a lekker skrik. Oh, you're awake today, Daryl. Gave me a lekker skrik 2 nights ago. What's happened in your life? What's your news? Put it in the comment section. I want to know. Let's get to the comments, and then we'll... No, that's not the right time to drum, man. Jeez. Let's get to the comments, and then we'll get to the Capitec story. All right. Alistair Jameson says, good afternoon, Dysfunctionals. Good news is we have got 2,300 Rand in to help Jill. Now, unfortunately, our show got pulled on Tuesday because I used Olympic footage, and apparently they don't like that. So the show got pulled, and I think we lost a little bit of momentum. So just to put you in the picture, we're helping a lady on the East Rand of Johannesburg who has had an operation, quite a serious operation. She's had a back operation, she's had a hysterectomy, she's pretty much bedbound. She isn't able to work, and she just ran out of bucks. She's making plans to go live with her mom and, sort things out, but at the moment she's just stuck for food and for dog food. I did play the voice note the other day, and I thought, you know what, we should help her. So if you were watching on Tuesday, please go to our Weekly Wish page. I'll put it up on the website just now. But go to the Weekly Wish, just search for Weekly Wish Back a Buddy, and you can contribute there. So we've got about 2,500 we can play with now. It would be nice to get another $500 or $1,000 or so. I'll put that up, and Alistair can put the link in the comment section. Let's see if we can get a few more rands in for Jill and help her out over this difficult time. So Alistair was busy with that. Helen Mitvox says, hello everyone. Background looks great. Thank you, Helen. Alistair says, thank you all for the amazing donations we've had on Weekly Wish. Well, we've had two so far. One for 2,000 Rand and one for 300 Rand. And if you're able to drop 50 Rand or 100 Rand or 20 Rand or 200 Rand, then please go to our Weekly Wish Back a Buddy page. We're going to be going along early next week, I guess, to go take some dog food and some food off to Jill. I will be contacting Nikki Hart. I will be contacting Uniguida for their assistance on this project. And maybe Nikki and I will drive. I don't know if Nikki's watching the show today, but maybe Nikki and I will drive through to the East Rand and drop the goods off. Rosie Brown sends a rose. Helen Mikwa says, and Andrew was arrested. Really? Damn it, I have to look for that. Heather Knickelbein says, good afternoon, Dysfunctionals. I'm in Kenton-on-Sea, cooler than Uitenhage. Oh. The cool is appreciated today. Margaret Guider, one half of the Guider Counters. Drumroll Daryl is on board and says, hope you're well. Eunice was about to say, really? Yayness on that. Eunice says, hi, everybody. Ba. And Klaus says, hi, Tom and all. Alistair Jameson says, the story in Stanger is like the Schuster prank. Yeah, but it was real. Tammy Singh says, hello, Africa. Tell me how you're doing.
Thank you very much.
How you feeling? You feel? Something like that. Sharon Davis Hannibal says, hi, Tom and your army. Love you guys. Anna Patel says, just heard the news about Andrew. Betty's sweating now. We'll take a look for that just now and see what the latest on. I'm guessing this is former Prince Andrew, because he's not a prince anymore. He's just, what did King Charles call him? Mr. Mountbatten Windsor. Jeez, that's a slap in the face, eh? Mr. Mountbatten Windsor. Yep. You thought you'd met the boogeyman, Tom. I don't get scared easily, but I was pooping myself. It's one of the only times in my life that I stood there going, I wish I had a Glock .40. I wish I had a Glock .40, but I didn't. I just had my fingers. And I considered opening the door and going, hey, but I didn't know. Maybe he's got a gun. So I just, I leaned against the wall. Alistair says, armed response will do that to you, but hiding is not the best thing to do. Oh, you see, that's the thing. I didn't know. If I hide, I start looking like the crook. It was a problem. And the bigger problem was I was running around in my underpants because I live alone, and so I couldn't really go out in my undies. Oh, man. Okay, Alistair's put the Back a Buddy link in the comment section. We're looking to just raise a little bit more money. We've got some in already, 2,300 Rand. We had 950 in the account. But it would be nice to get a few $100 in. You can just follow the link that Alistair's put in the comment section. Just go to that Back a Buddy campaign and you can make a once-off donation if you want for 50 Rand, 100 Rand, whatever. Margaret says we will assist Jill with food for her dogs. That's great. I've already got what they eat, so I know what we need to get. It's nothing expensive or fancy, which is cool. Hello from Perth, says Gwen Sanders. Nice to have you with us, Gwen. I've got a lot of family in Perth. Beverly Ann Lloyd says, good afternoon, Dysfunctionals. And Tom, hope you're well. Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was arrested. My word. I was saying to Tanya the other day, something big's coming, Tanya, with Andrew. Something's big. The royal family don't pull the handbrake and put the royal the royal household into reverse gear. We don't know this guy. Unless something big's happening. So, wow. Okay, that's big news. We'll definitely get some doggy food as soon as I'm paid, says Una. Helen says he's not Prince anymore. That's right, 100%. He's just Mr. Mountbatten Windsor. Billy Kirk is on board and says, afternoon, champion. Same to you, Billy. Thank you for joining us. Erna De Beer says, hello, everybody. Some people have pressed the like and the heart and the ha-ha button. That's fantastic. They're our best friends. The rest of you, if you haven't pressed the button, it's just acquaintances. What else we got here? I was in armed response for 5 years, armed with a Glock. So if you shoot, we shoot back. Careful. Yeah, but maybe my aim's better than yours, China, you know. Hi, Tom. If she's working and off on unpaid sick leave, she can claim. No, she hasn't. She hasn't got that luxury. She can't get UIF, unfortunately. So, yeah, we're going to help her. I mean, we're going to help her with some food and some dog food, and we'll do it next week. And I'm hoping Nikki Hart will come along for the ride. I think Alistair told me that Nikki was keen on that. Okay, so we'll see if we get to the Prince Andrew story in just a little while, but I want to talk about the Capitec story. It has fascinated me, this Capitec story. Let's go to the branch, shall we? So, yesterday, a family arrived at Capitec Stanger in KZN, and they said, I don't know who died. Someone passed. Gogo has passed. And we've come to get the funeral benefit money. And the branch said, well, you have to provide proof. Now, I've heard from one or two people recently that it can be tricky at the moment getting a death certificate. Maybe they had a problem getting that. But anyway, there was some drama. They didn't have the death certificate. So Capitec, I think, it looks like, says, oh, we can't give you the money unless we've got proof. So they went outside. They want to take you to the Capitec bank now in Stanger, right? And they went outside. Here's the bank. And here you see the people and all outstanding outside the bank. They went to the bank and they took the lady or whoever it was out of the back of a van. They were wrapped in a bag or whatever, and then they just deposited it on the floor of the Capitec branch. I'm not showing you too much in this picture, but you can see on the bottom right. And what surprises me is that there are people still doing transactions on the top left-hand corner there. Do you see that? Those are customers who really need a new card. And we got this footage of people outside the back. Very South African thing. What's going on here, hey? So this is live footage. Yesterday, this was recorded. And as you can see, the three ladies, there were three gogos. They just hauled this person out of the boot of the Hyundai, and they took this person and dropped them on the floor of the branch. Now, Capitec has responded. They've said they've apologized to the bereaved family who brought the body of their relative to the branch as proof of death. And they have said that there were three women, all wearing ducks and scarves over their shoulders. They proceeded to the bank store carrying the object as shocked bystanders started running in different directions. And although not confirmed, those who posted the video claimed the family was aggrieved over a non-payment of a funeral policy that was allegedly owed to them by the bank. So the spokesperson for Capitec said they're deeply saddened by the distressing incident that occurred at the Stanger branch in Kwadukuza. We extend our sincere condolences to the family during what is clearly an incredibly difficult emotional time. We understand the sensitivity of the matter. The branch has been closed while they manage it. They're providing all the necessary support to the affected parties. They're engaging with the relevant authorities and will ensure that all appropriate processes are followed with care. I heard that, that someone had been arrested, or the three ladies had been arrested. I'm not quite sure if that's the truth. There are a lot of rumors floating around at the moment when it comes to this story. But I did look at this branch, and it turns out that this is not the first time that someone has taken a dead body to the Stanger Capitec branch. It's not the first time. You look at these things and you go, only in South Africa. Well, only in South Africa would it happen. How many times do you think? Three times, right? In 2005, July last year, another family carried a coffin containing their deceased loved one's body into a different Capitec branch, that's at the Kwadukuza Mall, the same area, to protest a delayed funeral payout. They paid the claim. And in 2019, a similar protest occurred at an old mutual office in Stanger. What's going on in Stanger? Where the family members brought the body in a bag leading to a quick payout. So it seems as if you want the bank to pay quickly, you must take them. Haul them in there. They're there. Look there. There's your proof. Okay, we pay. So that was a big story online. I'd love to see what you've got to say about it. Let's just take a look quickly. We'll see. Helen says the Capitec story. Wow. As for Capitec, TIA, no place like Mzansi. Hello, Special Soul, says Wendy. Hello, Wendy. Hope you're doing well. Margaret Guider says Mr. Andrew Mountbatten should have put his crown jewels in their place at the time of the Epstein. Damn right. Leon Schuster was where when this happened, asks Alistair. Hi all, says Linda Edmiston. You can bank on it, says Barry Bodis. Yeah. Hi, dysfunctional family. A bit late, but enjoy the show. Hi, Emily. Heather says, I thought it's emotional, but I thought it funny. I couldn't help myself. It's South Africa. It's a movie. You're allowed to laugh every now and then. Gwen says, a dead body is no proof if it's the right person. That's a very good point. That's a very good point, Gwen. And you never know. Someone might just want to get some cash. So put a doll in the bag. Nah. One bank is as bad as the rest, says Clive Graham Beckett. Oh, Clive is back. Nice to see you, Clive. Yeah, although I must say, I have a Capitec account, and I love Capitec. I love the ease, the simplicity. I love the low bank charges. I've never had a drama with them. And the app is so easy to use. It can do so many things on it. It's my number one, my favorite bank. But having said that, banks aren't really my favorite. Shocking what happened at that Stanger branch. The Wild West, big time. I was shocked, says Ronald Gerard. Hi, Tom, says Jean or Jean Wellman. And Sharon Davis Hannibal says, weird people. Weird people. Andrew's 66th birthday today, says Helen. How's that for a present? Instead of a bracelet, he got handcuffs. I will pick that story up. We'll go to BBC. I think we'll probably carry their newsfeed and see what's happening. So that was the Capitec saga. And then there's more. You know, some days there's no news. I look around and I go, it's boring today. But today, it's like lightning hit the news channels and bah, everything's a story. Robert Mugabe's son, now this afternoon, somewhere in Johannesburg, got into an argument, it seems, with the security guard at the house he lives at, and he sorted it out by shooting the security guard, who is now in a critical condition. I'll take you to the pictures outside the Mugabe's son house or residence that he lives at, and you can see all the cars there and the cops there. Apparently he's been arrested, so all the sons are getting arrested today. Robert Mugabe's son arrested. It appears as if he shot his own security guard. I don't know. This is crazy. I hope the security guard survives. And then, there's a picture of the young, I think Ballantyne Mugabe, obviously having a better moment in this photograph. He hasn't got bracelets on and being hauled off to jail. But apparently that's happening. He got arrested this afternoon. And then I thought I would show you this. This is the N2 in Cape Town. This is worrying. And I was chatting to friends about it the other day. When I lived in Stellenbosch, I would fly in and out of Cape Town twice a week. And to get from the airport to my house in Stellenbosch, I would use the N2. And people used to say, be careful, the M2 is a bit dodgy. And so when you drive under a bridge, you look to see if anyone's standing there, they're going to throw a rock on you or something. But I never had any problems. But apparently it's got worse and worse and worse. And then today I saw these screen grabs of CCTV footage. Apparently this is the N2 in Cape Town, where guys were just standing in the highway, stopping traffic. Which is just a mess and no good for tourism in the area for sure. Then there's this photograph here. And what I'd like to know is, if you take a look on the right-hand side of this image, on the right of the bucky, you see that that's a guy. He's doing a somersault of some sort. And I would love to know, what's the cause? Is he just doing a somersault? Was he standing there and he went flick-flack, check this out? Or did one of those cars make him do a somersault? It might be that little white car that's pulling off with a cloud of dust behind it. But something made that guy do a somersault. I see his shoes are still on, so it couldn't have been a very big impact. Daryl. Yeah. So that's the N2 Cape Town drama. And then I was looking at a Facebook page, and I think it's a satire page, of course. But apparently, ladies and gentlemen,
The Tom London Show
has found the last drop of water in Johannesburg. There it is. So if you're wondering where all the water went, I think this is a drop of water is in a glass case at the city council at Johannesburg, and the councillors have been walking past it and checking it out. The last drop of water. There's no truth to the rumor that Panyaza Lesufi is in this photograph. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the last drop of water in Johannesburg. And then the final piece of news I got, which is good news actually, First Rand Foundation donated money to the Charlotte Maxeke Hospital to put together a brand new dedicated transplant ICU. And I just want to bring these pictures up because this is what we want all our public hospitals to look like. So here's First Rand and the MEC cutting the ribbon at Charlotte Maxeke, I think earlier today. And so, yeah, they cut the ribbon and opened this brand new ward, brand new equipment. You see, when things are painted and there's new gear in there and there's new vinyl on the floors, look how good a government hospital can look. And I wanted to play that today and show you that because it is possible. It is possible for all of our hospitals to look like that. I'm getting a lot of messages out of KZN at the moment, an increasing number of messages out of KZN. People complaining about no water, people complaining about telephones not working in some of the hospitals, people complaining about the pieces of equipment. Remember, we faced this last year with Jenna Lee when we wanted to have her operated on by the state, and they did not have the rods and the screws. And I suspect that coming up towards the end of the financial year, they've just run out of money. And look where we are. We're at the end of a financial year, and I don't know. I can't say for sure because I don't have intelligence on this. But it seems that when we get to February, March, and specifically in KZN, it seems as if the budgets run out. And if you're waiting for an orthopedic op or something, you're going to wait until April at least. But please, if you are in KZN and you are experiencing problems, please message me on this page on Facebook Messenger so I can get as much information as possible so we can tackle it if we have to. Let's see what you guys have got to say, and then we'll go hunt for this Prince Andrew story. That's a big one, hey? Okay, Go Time Bank is great, says Alistair Jameson. Yeah, I've heard people say that. Unagaida says, after what we went through with my dad at Nedbank, I'm not surprised people are losing it. He did get a bracelet, says Alistair, on each wrist. I read he shot the gardener, says Helen. Yeah, well, the original report said security guard, then it said member of staff, and now we're hearing gardener. Which is just terrible. Why would you shoot your gardener? Who's going to do the garden? Good day, dysfunctionals. When I look at all the news, it looks like we're not the only dysfunctionals. It's becoming like the Wild West. Yeah, the world has gone crazy. Hyde Park, says Billy Kirker. That's one way of getting the problem sorted. A Mugabe is a Mugabe, bad genes. The latter, says Alistair. Where's the pipe, Fikile? Afternoon, friend, says Mandy Wilson. Yvonne Rhodes says things are bad everywhere. PMB, the worst crime in the world. Peter, you think Maritzburg and you think Sleepy Hollow, but it's right up there. It's one of the worst crime cities in the world. It's like the last place you'd expect it to happen. I don't get that. Barry says that guy in the picture is doing a somersault for donations from the motorists. His brothers managed to stop. Nice one, Barry. This is after all the fire wrecked Charlotte Maxeke, but I think they get in there. I mean, if there's a hospital you want to land up in Gauteng, it's Charlotte Maxeke. That's the one that I would. If the ambulance driver said, which hospital would you like to go to? So, take me to Charlotte Maxeke. Quite scary. The scissors not sharp enough to cut the ribbon, says Charmaine Yinoba. Let's not hope they're the new scissors from the ward. Oh, stop it. All this negativity, man. Billy Kirkus says apparently there's a private ward section at Helen Joseph which makes private hospitals pale. Well, there is one at Charlotte Maxeke. I'm not sure if there's one at Helen Joseph, but there is one. I think they called it Kalafong, not to be confused with Kalafong Hospital, but there is a private ward at Charlotte Maxeke where I almost landed up in that ward. That's how I know about it. We were talking about moving me there. But there is a private ward there. And yes, some of these ICUs in our state hospitals have better gear, better equipment than private clinics. That is true. But you roll the dice when you go to a public hospital. You roll the dice. You don't know that you're going to get that ward. You might get 3 days on the floor in casualty instead. But then people like sleeping on the floor. They do. If you walk past someone who's sleeping on the floor in a public hospital, they look at you if you're the boss, and then they look up at you. The patients look up at you and they go,
"Thank you very much."
For the floor. Drum roll, Daryl. Good news about Charlotte Maxeke. It's a miracle that happened. Gina Lemon says, Middleburg and Mpumalanga has a brand new hospital, but I've already heard rumors that it looks like a dump. We can't get excited about new hospitals award. We live in the era of destruction. Yeah. Maybe the argument was about Zimbabweans, says Billy Kirker. I have no idea why he would have shot his gardener. It's time to get a script for Blue Valium in order to keep your wits about living in this country slowly but surely. And yeah, well, I've never tried Blue Valium, but I hear it's good. Mother's Little Helper. How's it, Tomster, says Benjamin. Benjamin hasn't been around for a while. It's good to see Benjamin. How's it, Benjamin? Thanks for joining me. Okay, so we see whether we can scrape some news together about old Prince Andrew. Or actually, you shouldn't call him Prince Andrew anymore. Hey, stuff him. I'm just going to share the screen. I'm doing this the wrong way, I think. But let's try. I'm going to try and look for some info quickly and just put it up on the screen about this Prince Andrew story, which is just crazy, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. All right, let's see. If I turn that way and we just go to BBC, that might do it. All right, so in the meantime, oh, that's not working. What I'm going to do is just split the screen quickly so that we can actually see this. Let's do that. Okay, so, right, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do, sorry, I can't talk and think at the same time, unfortunately. Right, so there we go. Weekly wish for Tom London. We're at 20,950 Rand. There are donations that have come in. We've got 2,000 Rand from an anonymous donor. Thank you very much for that. And Henriette Quarters out of Denmark donated 300 Rand for Jill. And so, yeah, those are our two donors so far. But you can go along to the Weekly Wish with Tom London on BackaBuddy. Just search for Weekly Wish and BackaBuddy in Google, and you'll come up with the page. We're looking for a few more 100 Rand so that we can fatten the donation up a little bit. Take some nice food and some dog food off to that lady. All right, let's have a look and see what BBC News are reporting. I'll take you straight to BBC now and see what they're up to. And there we go. Andrew arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office as King says the law must take its course. Should we go into that story for a second? Oh, look, they've got pictures of Volvos and Range Rovers. Is that him going off to the police station? Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been arrested and is in custody on suspicion of misconduct in public office. King Charles says he learned with the deepest concern of Andrew's arrest, adding the law must take its course. Neither he nor Buckingham Palace were informed in advance of the arrest. Ha ha! Ha ha! Ha ha! Another drum roll, please, for the BBC. Come on. Ha ha! Ha ha! They didn't know. No, of course they didn't know. It was a big surprise when the cops arrived. Oh, look, it's the police. I wonder what they want at Andrew's place. Nah, cuck, man. Sorry, I don't believe that. Just in case you didn't notice. Okay, so neither he nor Buckingham Palace were informed in advance. No, I need some coffee. Thank goodness the coffee on the show is brought to you by Wissenhof. Wissenhof Coffees puts the caffeine in my bloodstream.
Thank you very much.
Kobus.
Thank you very much.
All right, what else we got here? Police are carrying out searches. Ooh, at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk, as well as the Royal Lodge in Windsor Great Park, where Andrew lived until recently. Photos show vehicles believed to be police cars arriving at the Sandringham estate in Norfolk earlier this morning. Comes after Thames Valley Police says they were assessing a complaint over the alleged sharing of confidential material with the late Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, they went on his birthday. So there we go. He turned 66 today. Obviously, he's denied all wrongdoing. He says, I didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't me. Someone else must have done something wrong. It could never have been me. I would never, like Bill Clinton, I would never have sexual relations. I'd never. Have a look at that. Oh, there was that one time. I was watching an interview with Charles Spencer, the late Princess Diana's brother. Fascinating. I was telling Tonya about it yesterday. I was just like, I was engrossed. In this interview, it was a fascinating and fantastic interview with Charles Spencer about all sorts of things. But he spoke about his primary school days when he went to a boarding school, and the amount of nonsense that was going on with kids in that school, it's just off the charts. And so you think, oh well, it's not only Epstein. It's schools, it's churches, it's organizations, it's sports clubs, it's all sorts of things where kids are. You find these predators, man. Well, I'm glad to see that Andrew has been arrested, and it would be nice to see more people getting arrested and account for what they've done. Crazy stuff. I look at these things, and I look at Mugabe's son shooting the gardener. I look at these people taking dead bodies into the Capitec Bank. I look at these oaks doing somersaults on the N2. I look at these Epsteins and these Mountbatten Windsors and Andrew, and I think, my life's like very plain. I keep saying this. You won't be impressed with how boring I am. I mean, I've never done a flick-flack on. What a joy it is to be boring, I think. It means you don't get into trouble. You don't land up in the news for things you've done wrong. I would thoroughly recommend being boring to everybody. Don't try and be outrageous. Don't try and be controversial. Just be boring. That way you never land up in the back of a police van. Boring people never land up in trouble. They never land up in the newspaper. They never land up in trouble. But oh boy, you see, Britain today is going to be the foundation of British society was rocked by the royal scandal this afternoon when Mr. Mountbatten Windsor was put in the back of a very nice leather-seated Range Rover and taken off to the cop shop, where he probably didn't go into the cells with the other mongrels, those peasants. He probably got to sit on a nice chair, and maybe they fed him lunch. But certainly the foundation of Britain's high society and the royal family has been shaken this afternoon. Shaken, not stirred, put. Yeah. Let's see what you got to say. I'm just talking nonsense today. Germiston Hospital is as bad as Helen Joseph was last year, or when Tom was ailing so badly. That's not nice to hear. Heather says, I had to wait 2 years for anchors for my shoulder when I had to have a shoulder op. The specialist ordered himself and hid them away. He hid them away so no one else used them or sold them. My shoulder was worse than they thought, and I nearly lost my arm. I praise God for the specialist that handled my operation. Charmaine says, Andrew was stripped of his title last year. That's right. This is terrible for the royal family. I think they all have skeletons in their cupboards. Do you think so? Who do you think's got the biggest skeletons in the royal family cupboard? Come on. Who do you think's got the biggest skeleton? Not a small a big skeleton. Who's got a big skeleton? Who do you think's got big skeletons in the cupboard? I don't think Prince William. He looks boring. And his wife, they look very boring. They look very vanilla. Maybe Prince Edward has done one or two naughty things in the past. I don't know. You tell me. I haven't got a clue. I don't know these people. Please help Jill. She's a good person, says Margaret. Yeah, please, if you're able to, we really, really would appreciate it. At least the UK is setting an example with this. It would be nice if other countries would follow suit. I'm not sure whether you're going to see other countries do the same thing. He should have stuck to Mountain... Okay, I'm not going to read that out, but there's a drum roll for you, Barry. Another drum roll, Barry Bowditch. You're good with the wordplay today. How embarrassing for Andrew's daughters. I don't think that family gets embarrassed. I don't think they get embarrassed. I mean, if his daughters were so embarrassed by what the parents get up to, the mother sucking the toe of that investment banker all those years ago would have been enough for them to change their names, man. I mean, you got the mom who, if she's not sucking the toe of an investment banker, is sitting and being exposed in meetings where she's going, oh, well, I can introduce you to Andrew, and Andrew can introduce you to this person, and then you can do a big deal with them. I'd need £100,000 for that. This is what these people are like. And then you've got Andrew who says, I can't sweat. There's no ways that's me. I've lost the ability to sweat. Cuck. Agreed. Arrest the Clintons and the Obamas. Oh, is it them too? Ronald Gerard says, crazy times, crazy world we live in. Our lives are very vanilla, Tom. Or mine certainly is. Some people have pressed the like, some have pressed the heart, some have laughed, no one's cried. We've done our job. And those are our friends. Those are like true lovers. The rest, if you haven't pressed the button, you're just an acquaintance. You're like an ex-girlfriend. 5 ex-girlfriends back. Oh, I must tell you about the dream I had this morning. I'd rather be bored than arrested, says Barbara. Yes, let's just be boring, says May. Tom, I agree. You in your small corner and me in mine, we stay clear of all this nonsense out there. Yeah. Let's be dysfunctional, says Alistair. Charles is no saint either, says Dawn. Oh, is it? Tell us, Dawn. Come on. Don't just write. Tell us everything. Spill the beans. Amen, Tom, says Gina. I'm the most boring person on earth, thank goodness. Well, here's a drum roll for you, Gina. The boogeyman is on the hunt for boring people, Tom. Give him time. Skeletons, Charles and Camilla, says Alistair. I'd rather be boring than do it. Yeah, absolutely. Big skeleton, King Charles for sure. Come on, tell me. Drop it in the comments. See what you're thinking. I can't see what's in your head. Did you see my post about a friend who was in hospital in Jabulani? Says Billy couldn't sleep because of bed bugs. I haven't. I'll get to that post. I was dealing with someone in KZN a few days back who's having real problems getting the rods and the screws to have the op he needs. Everyone thinks King Charles has got scared. I think Prince Charles is boring, man. That oak loves his flowers and his garden. If you're a gardener and you like flowers and organic compost, I don't think you're inclined to do crazy stuff. I think he's boring, but hey, I don't know. I don't know the man. Yes, like Tom, too much news today. Trying to watch you and the BBC at the same time. Well, we've run out of news on this side, so you are funny, Tom. Really? Do you think so? Thank you. For years, he was called Randy Andy. Yes, in the days when that was a cool title. Back in the 80s, we all knew him as Randy Andy, and it was like, hey, he's the cool royal, huh? Hanging out with supermodels, old Randy Andy. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Randy Andy meant something completely different. Andrew the pervert. That's what it meant. Tom, you're on fire with the news. Well, I got good news. Mary Beckett says, for years he was called Randy Andy. Hi, Tom. Stay bored. It's safer, says Mick Deirdricks. Helen says, and to think I liked Andrew when he returned from the Falklands with a rose in his mouth, remember? The most ridiculous war ever over 2 little pieces of ground that had no value. No value. It was just the British did not like the Argentinians wanting their islands back. So we will have a big... That was Margaret Thatcher's time. Oh, send the battleships off to the Falklands. It's very far, ma'am. Oh, it can't be too far. 14,000 bloody kilometres from here. Oh, well, put extra diesel into the hold and go and sort those Argentinian bastards out. Did I say that? No! Love the word cuck. I shouldn't say it. I shouldn't. Charles is behind the death of Princess Di. It was Charles in the Uno. It was Charles on the motorbike with a camera, blinding the drunk driver. Hey, hello, look here, click, click. I don't think so. You think Charles was in the Uno? in the tunnel? Prince Charles. I'm not so sure. Still think they murdered Diana. A lot of people do. I don't think so. You guys need to call Tanya Curry and talk about these things. She's got all sorts of theories. I don't think so. Queen Elizabeth. Does she have skeletons in her closet? Oh, good gracious. Possibly no. Possibly no. What? What could she have done that was off color? What, she spent a night in Philip's room? Sorry, expressive. You're making me laugh, says Mick. Randy Andy. Ha ha. Yeah, well, look who's crying now, Andrew. Bitter tears, as my mother used to say. You'll cry my mother used to say, you'll cry bitter tears, my boy. I didn't know what bitter tears were, but it sounded horrible. I thought, I don't ever want to cry bitter tears. Salty ones are okay, but bitter ones, ooh, no, that doesn't taste nice. My mom would say, you'll cry bitter tears, my boy. You'll cry bitter tears. Yeah, Charles was in love with Camilla. All the way through. All the way through. All the way through. That was the love of his life. I feel quite sorry for the man. He was expected to, he wasn't, he would not have been able to marry Camilla when they were young. He had to choose someone like Diana. It was the perfect picture. But his heart, die hart van Koning Charles, het lekker vir Camilla gepomp. He orchestrated it because he wanted to marry Horseface. That's horrible. I was Inspector Clouseau on the hood of the Uno. You're so funny. Charles doesn't do his own dirty work. No, he sends the personal hit squad. He goes, come here, won't you call the hit squad? And then two guys, yes, sir. So, well, I need you to do a little bit of work for me. There's an Uno in the backyard there. We'll drive it over to Paris, and then I go and take, blinding light flashlights of Henri Paul, put it in his face, that drunk driver, that French drunk, and I'd flash it until he crashes. I think the easier ways of getting rid of people. Stay in jail, Andy, says Tracy Corson. Amen to that. Tommy's on top form today. It's this new banner. I'm so in love with my wall. Don't you love it? Jy is snaaks, sê Ranel. Ja! Seker op 'n Woensdag of 'n Donderdag, né? I've never understood the word Donderdag. Right from when I learned to speak Afrikaans, Donderdag always seemed like the day that you bliksem someone. I wag vir Donderdag. Op Donderdag gaan ek jou donder. Gaan jou bliksem. Goed, maar nie vandag nie. Op Donderdag. Camilla could never hold a candle to Diana. Okay, yeah. Queen Liz was the last of the decent royal family. I think so too. Charles is a loslappie. Really? Really? Can you imagine Queen and Charles singing loslappie? Oh, ek wil huis toe gaan, na mama toe. Die rivier is vol, my trane rol. En Bokkie wat vanaand by my wil lê, sy kom maar lê. Ek is 'n loslappie. That's why it was Inspector Clouseau. Diana was a lovely lady, but very troubled in life, I think. Charles was in a difficult situation. I feel sorry for Charles. I really do. Tom, when are you going on stage? When 500 people pay for tickets, then I'll do it. How's that? Oh my word, hoe lag ek nou vir jou? Vir die pomperij. Ek het nie pomperij gesê nie, jy het pomperij gesê. Ek het net gelees. Yeah. Oh man. I didn't know I could speak Afrikaans. I'm not that bad, actually. Can I have a drum roll for my Afrikaans skills? Ek het in Stellenbosch gewoon, ja, ek praat suiwer Afrikaans. In Stellenbosch sê hulle, ek, nie ek nie. You can't live in Stellenbosch and say, ek dink. People will look at you and go, bedoel jy, ek dink. They speak differently. It's a very different Afrikaans in Stellenbosch. Love the wall, says Luzanne. So do I. I'm in love with it. We've got another one coming and I can pull live guests into the studio. Tom, your acting skills are quite superb today. Hollywood awaits. No, those are the real twisties. They're the real twisties. They make Mountbatten, Windsor, Andrew look like he's an amateur. The Hollywood, I lived in a place called Mission Viejo in Orange County in California in 1986, and I went to junior high in Laguna Beach. And we moved into the neighborhood. We lived in a road called Sombras. If you want, you can go to Google Earth and type in 27051 Sombras. That was the address of the house we lived in California, 27051 Sombras. And about 3 houses down, when we moved in, there was this guy. He was on the lawn, like lying on the lawn on his stomach with a pair of scissors, and he was cutting the lawn with a pair of nail scissors. Now, you see some things in South Africa, like guys doing flips over the highway and dead bodies in banks, but you rarely in South Africa see someone who has flipped out so over the edge that they spend the whole afternoon snipping blades of grass on their front lawn. I saw that, and then I asked one of my friends what's going on there, and he said, oh, well, everyone in California is like that. And I think California, I don't know what it is, the drugs, the sun, the heat, something, it fries their brains. Their brains go very soft in California. And then in Hollywood, every person, and I'm just gonna say this as I feel it. Every person in America who has an overwhelming to be recognized, to be loved, to be admired by the world. I mean, so overwhelming that it's pathological. They get in their cars and they drive to Hollywood and they become actors. And they cooked, man. They're all cooked. They cooked those people. Those are the kind of people that, someone will say, oh, have you seen you can get air in a glass now? Oh, really? $100. Oh, that's pure Tibetan air. The last time I smelled something that fresh, it was at Pick and Pay. Hollywood. I wouldn't live in Hollywood. Can you imagine going to visit a Hollywood star? Can you imagine what the night's like? I wouldn't know what to talk about. We talk about organic food and tantra. I don't know. Hollywood is just nuts. It's stuffed up. It's Kurt's birthday today. Kurt Darren. Oh, I love Kurt Darren. Hop, hop, spin a kop, kaptein, my kaptein. Kurt Darren turns 56, I think it is today. Happy birthday, Kurt. Kurt's actually a very good singer. I don't like it when people make fun of Kurt Darren. Steve Hofmeyer. Oh, no, you can make fun of Steve Hofmeyer all you want. The pomp and the ceremony of the royals. What happened in your dream before you forget? Oh, I'll tell you now. I don't know why I do this. I sit here and I tell you my deepest, darkest things. This morning, I woke up at about 6 naturally. By that, I mean I opened my eyes by myself. And I was on my own. And I woke up this morning at 6 o'clock, but I woke up having a nightmare. And it really confused me because I shouldn't have felt the way I did. I had a dream that an ex-girlfriend of mine was fooling around with an old friend of mine. And the problem was they lived in the room next door, and I had to go through that room to use the bathroom. And every time I went through the bathroom, they'd be gefuffling. My ex-girlfriend and an old friend. And I woke up at 6 this morning with this dream. You know when you have a dream like that and you think, no, I don't want to wake up. I'm going to go back and correct it. I'm going to go back in the dream and then I'm going to go, mur my old friend. And say, I don't love you anymore to the ex. But I couldn't go back to sleep and fix the dream, man. And then someone suggested today, I think it was Daryl, who suggested that I should type this into Grok and see what Grok has to say about my dream. So shall we do that? Shall we see what Grok has to say? Analyze this dream. You're going to have to put up with me while I can never spell analyze. Analyze this dream. I had a dream of my ex-girl Do you like this? I'm sure you're loving this. Of my ex-girlfriend who lived in the room next door to mine, and then she fell in love with an old friend of mine, and they were doing naughty things together in my dream. What does this mean, Grok? What does this mean? All right. Oh, I did it on the wrong phone. Otherwise, I could have put it up on. I could have put it up here. See people saying they love Steve. I mustn't. No, I've got a pluck with Steve Hoffman. I've got a beef with him. Dreams are highly personal and symbolic, so no interpretation. No, don't give me that. Just tell me. Psychological meanings. You see, this is why I didn't want to have a look at Grok and ask Grok. Unresolved feelings or incomplete emotional processing about the breakup, your ex appearing, especially living next door, so close yet separate, often symbolizes that parts of the relationships or the emotions tied to it are still adjacent to your current life. You haven't fully moved on. What? Or there's lingering attachment, hurt, regret, or even nostalgia. Regret, yes. The next door detail makes it feel very intimate and hard to ignore, like the past is right there influencing. 2, jealousy, insecurity, or fear of loss or replacement. Seeing her fall in love with your old friend can represent a fear that someone from your circle took what was yours. No, I don't have those fears. That's not something that worries me. Feeling that others are getting the happiness you once had. Oh. Betrayal vibes, insecurity about you. I don't like reading this. It's like going to a psychologist. Your ex and the friend are symbols for parts of yourself? What? Dreams aren't usually literal. Your ex might represent qualities you associate with her. Passion, comfort, excitement, vulnerability. Definitely not vulnerability. That you miss or feel you've lost. Passion, maybe. Her being with your old friend could mean those qualities are now connected to an older part of your life. Oh, okay. Processing betrayal, rejection, or what-if scenarios. Current life triggers. Have you recently heard about your ex? No. Are you single and feeling lonely? No. I am single, but I'm not lonely. Has anything happened with that old friend? No. Are you facing changes where you feel next door to happiness but not quite in it? No. What it probably doesn't mean, says Grok, it doesn't mean your ex is literally with your friend. It doesn't mean necessarily you'll still want her back. It's not prophetic or a sign you should act on what to do with the dream. Journal it. Are you mad? I'm telling my friends on Facebook. Reflect on patterns. If dreams like this repeat at night signal you need more closure. You see, I didn't think any of that stuff. I thought if I'm having this dream at 6 o'clock in the morning, I reckon she woke up dreaming of me. That's what I think happened. And then like somehow telepathically through the wireless of the world, it landed up in my dream lap. This is better than Dallas. Stick around. There's a lady who watches the show who called me 2 nights, the lady that I knew from 23 years ago. She said we must have coffee sometime. Ooh. But you know, when the last time you saw someone was 23 years ago, then you don't know what they look like anymore. They know what you look like because they're watching the show, but I don't know what she looks like anymore. And I didn't go send me a pic. All of the best of Hollywood have moved out to Florida. Yep, that Hollywood bunch is like fried potato chips, man. Cali attracts the mallets for sure. Shame, what an awful dream. It was terrible. Thank you. Thank you, Mick. We love Steve. I loved Steve until he called me a soti. Then that was it, eh? I remember Steve Hofmeyer, News Cafe in Pretoria. What's the road near Vonneboom Airport, the big road there? Colonnade Shopping Center's on the road. Someone will remember it. They'll put it in the comment section. But the news cafe, I think on that side of town, someone went in one day and there was English music playing, and they said, "Waar's die Afrikaanse liedjies?" And they said, "No, we don't play Afrikaans music in the store," which is a very stupid thing to say in Pretoria. So then the customer said, "Ek wil na Pampoen luister," and then the manager said, "No, we're not playing Pampoen, we play Robbie Williams." So the customer made a complaint to Die Burger, or one of those newspapers, and the next thing, it was a big story. News Cafe refuses to play Afrikaans music. And I was doing John Robbie's show at the time. I was doing breakfast on 702, and I thought this would be quite fun. Why don't we put the CEO of News Cafe and Steve Hofmeyer on the line together and see what happens? So I said, okay, we're doing our own peace and reconciliation. Excuse me, I've been drinking. I got hiccups. We're going to do our own truth and reconciliation thing and peace and reconciliation between News Cafe and Steve Hofmeyer. And I put them on, and the News Cafe guy said, "That's not nonsense. We do play Afrikaans music. I'm so sorry, Steve." And Steve said, "No, that's all right as long as you play Afrikaans music." And then I got the CEO of News Cafe to introduce Pampoen, which I played on 702. And everyone was happy. And I thought that day, when South African artists walk into South African radio studios, they never get treated like the international artists. International artists get a big spread of food and nice drinks and stuff. South Africans just sit on the couch and wait for the interview. And I thought, Steve Hofmeyer is such a big artist in this country. Let's treat him like So I took money out of my own pocket. I went to Woolworths. I bought muffins, and I bought fresh fruit and fruit juice and champagne and different stuff. We had a beautiful spread. When Steve Stoffsayer arrived, it was like the royal family were going to eat there, and he ate some stuff and drank some stuff. And I thought, I was nice to Steve Hofmeyer. Then a few years later, my girlfriend, who at the time, who was the Afrikaans weightlifter, she, I'm not joking, she's the Afrikaans weightlifter. That's 3 girlfriends back. And she wanted to go see, and her mom, they wanted to see Steve Hofmeyer. He was playing at Silver Star Casino. And so we got tickets and we went through to see Steve. It was very weird. He sang Die Stem, like the whole thing. And I was like, whoa, I remember singing that like every second day. Because it was English one day, Afrikaans the other. And then I went up to him at the end, and she knew him from the gym, I think. And she said, "Hello, Steve." And he said, "Hello, Afrikaans weightlifter girlfriend." And then I said, "How's it, Steve?" Now he knew me. And he looked at her. Instead of saying hello to me, he said, this is what Steve Hofmeyer said. He said, "Ek sien jy het jou soutie saamgebring." Like that. I thought, well, that's it. You're an enemy. You're an enemy now. You are my enemy, Steve Hofmeyer. And from this day forward, I'm going to, whenever I mention your name, I'm going to say something. I'm going to twist it. I'm going to twist the story. That's my beef with Steve. No correcting your dreams, Tommy, you dumb boykie. Where were you living in this dream? Kensington, of all places. Laugh out loud. Are you mad? You're talking back to it. Wait, she's going to call you. You think so? No. My thing is, and this is my problem, and I admit to it, it's a psychological deficit or whatever you call it. My problem is when I leave a relationship, it's normally me that leaves it. I think one of my relationships, the lady left. But most of them I go, I can't do this anymore. And I should make a song that I just play for them instead of, I can't do this anymore. I'm walking out the door. And that's what I do. And then I say, I can't do this anymore. I'm leaving you. And then I don't literally slam the door hard. I metaphorically slam the door. I slam the metaphorical door so hard that you can never open it. Never. I don't burn the bridge. I blow it up. So I don't think she's going to call. Oh, my word, Tom. Sorry, mister. Was it a lucid dream? It started off as a real dream. Then it became a lucid dream. Then I was awake and I tried to go back to lucid to fix it, but I couldn't. For $1,000, I can tell you what your dream means, says Claire Gray. Sure, hold on a second. Let me just get some money out of my pocket here and give it to you through the telephone. I also love Steve Hofmeyer. Ah, shame. Steve Hofmeyer so hunner. You cannot be a Soti. You're not from the UK. You're a Viking. Well, I don't know. That's what he called me. He said, "Ek sien jy het jou Soti saamgebring." And I went, I just like inside, because I didn't say anything, but inside I was hurt. And I thought, that wasn't nice, Steve. Can Steve Hofmeyer still do his arithmetic? Oh, my soul. You remember that old joke, what do you call a blonde who doesn't use condoms? Steve Hoffmeyer! That could get me into trouble. I retract, I'm sorry. Soti says, Mick, she thinks it's funny. The last time I saw Steve was in Jeffrey's and everyone started murmuring each other at the end of the gig. That sounds like a Steve Hoffmeyer show. Don't blame you, Tom. That was nasty, says Sharon. Well, that's it. Can you believe an hour's done? Okay, I hope you enjoyed the show today. I hope you liked the new wall. I'm very keen on this design. I designed it myself, and we got it made. And so all the shows from now on will look like this. We're going back to horizontal for the live shows. But on the Tom London Shorts channel is where you'll find the vertical shorts. So if you don't want to watch a whole show, you just want to watch the funny stuff or the bang bang stuff, then you can just go to my other page, Tom London Shorts. And there'll be little clips there and like Instagram and TikTok. And where else? YouTube Shorts. So those will be vertical, but we're going back to this format because I want to put guests in front of me soon, and this makes a whole lot more sense. Okay, so that's it for today. I want to thank you if you've been pressing the like button. Many people pressed the like button today. I'd just like to say thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Many people pressed the heart button. I just want to say
thank you very much.
And 9 people laughed.
Thank you very much.
And nobody went wow.
Thank you very much.
And nobody cried. Elvis?
Thank you very much.
And nobody got angry.
Thank you very much.
And if you pressed the like buttons and the heart buttons, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're my kimosapi. You're my amigo. Amigos para siempre. That's what you are. If you didn't press the button, you're like the weightlifting ex-girlfriend, man. Nah. Your choice. You do what you like. I'm not going to force you. I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I do try and make you laugh because I'm trying to make myself laugh. I'm just trying to find some humor in life. So if you had a chuckle or two today, thank you very much for watching and enjoying. And yeah, tell your friends about it. I specifically want to go for the over 50 audience. I'm not interested in the kids. I want the old people. So yeah, if you know any old people, just tell them. The Tom London Show is a welcoming place for oldies. You can be 50, you can be 60, you can be 70, 80, or 90. I just go, thank you very much for joining the club. This is not a show for young people. I don't want 20-year-olds watching the show. I want ancient people watching the show. So if you know of any ancient people, tell them to join us on a Tuesday and Thursday. I'll be back with you on Tuesday. I think Viv Vermaak joins us Tuesday or Thursday with another This Motivational Talk. She'll be back with us. And then Lance Burks joins us soon to talk about his dad, John Burks. And we got more guests lined up, and some will come into studio in the next 2 weeks or so. We'll start bringing guests into the studio. I think we should start with former Miss South Africas. What do you think? That's what I'm angling for. I'm thinking I bring Claudia Henkel in here. Because she's been in the news lately, hey? Something about her ex and a Porsche, and I don't know what happened. Something, huisgenoot. Sy was in die huisgenoot. That's never good. But Claudia Henkel's actually a very interesting person, so I would love to get Claudia Henkel in here. And not talk about her exes and stuff, just talk about her. I'd like Claudia Henkel in here. I like Karishni Naika would be fun to have in here. Who else could we bring in? Maybe via video from Mauritius. Anneline? And Margaret Gardner? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Anyway, there'll be more guests coming up. I just want to thank you very, very much. This is a show that is designed for people 50 years and above. We're in the last half of our lives, and we have let go of all that nonsense of like craziness of youth, and now we're quite measured, except for the little moments. And so, yeah, make the circle bigger. More old people needed. Annelien Kriel-Kersner. I see Alistair wants, hey, bring Temba Robin in. I don't know who that is, but I'll have a look. Rolene Strauss, she's lovely. Yes, ooh, I would love to interview her. 63 valves in September, last day of the 39-year-old kid watching. No, you're an exception. You're allowed. You came in before the restriction. I will do that, says Gina. I'm 69 next month. Hey. Bring back Verve next week. No, man, don't give us 40s grief. What a way to go. I'm 66. Yeah, I hope you have a lovely Thursday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'll be back with you again on Tuesday. We'll do this again, and I can't wait to see you on Tuesday. I really just want to say, I've been speaking to a few people recently, and they tell me, Tom, when 3 o'clock comes on a Tuesday and a Thursday, like everything else doesn't matter. I love watching your show, and I actually wait for Tuesdays and Thursdays so I can watch the live show at 3 p.m. And if you're one of those people, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me that somebody would go, I want to watch this crazy guy for an hour and listen to him. So I do appreciate that. And I hope I send you all my love and my good wishes from the bottom of my heart to you. And I hope you have a fantastic Friday tomorrow and a great weekend. Don't overheat in this weather. Drink coffee in the morning. Make sure you get your Wissen off. Kobus!
Thank you very much.
For putting the caffeine in my bloodstream. And then you drink cold drinks at night. Coca-Cola, lots of ice. That's what the doctor ordered. Until Tuesday, I hope you stay well and you have a lot of love in your life. If you don't come here, we'll love you. The Tom London Show is brought to you by Suzuki Kyalami, the home of happy customers.